going to cover some of our tactics on fall calling. So we're going to cover what coyotes are doing this time of year, what we're looking for when we're finding farms to hunt, what sounds we're running, and then decoys. Understanding what a coyote's doing throughout the year is going to make you more effective. You can take what they're doing naturally and then tailor your sounds to what they want to hear. So we take the year and we break it into subseasons. These subseasons help us pick what sounds to play based off of what coyotes are doing. In the fall, you've got dispersal. You've got pups. They're grown. They're starting to move out on their own, trying to establish new territories. With that, you've got the largest population of callable coyotes. The biggest secret to calling coyotes, it's not the gear you have, or if you've got 8,000 different sounds to choose from. It's having land that's consistently going to hold coyotes. If you don't have coyotes there, you can't kill them. So we're going to focus on two aspects: food and cover. If you have row crops, you're going to have food. Rodents is what we're looking at. Mice and rabbits. If you have livestock, you're going to have food. So once we find farms that have that, we're going to look at, do they have cover as well? It can be a 1/4 acre of a thicket. It can be 50 acres. Or it could be as small as grown up fence rows or little fingers that are grown up. When you combine cover like that and a food source, you're going to most likely hold coyotes pretty consistently. So if you call stuff like that more, you're going to call in more coyotes. Sound selection, it's not rocket science to call a coyote. It'll be a prey distress, another prey distress, and a pup distress. There's more than one way to skin a cat, but we stick away from vocals right now. We won't bring vocals into it until mid-November. The reason for us doing that is you've got a lot of young coyotes running around that might have been whipped. So if you start howling, there's a possibility to spook off these younger coyotes based off of if they've had bad encounters with other coyotes. You can kill coyotes still, but what if that one coyote you're calling to is a young coyote that just got whipped 2 hours ago? So for that reason, we stay away from vocals right now. We believe in progressing the stand so we get more intense as we go. We run a lucky duck, so our main 3 rabbits that we absolutely love right now are Shelter Belt, TNT, and Tall Cotton. Tall Cotton is a less intense rabbit, so we'll start off with that. Our next sound will be TNT or Shelter Belt. It's louder, it's more intense. We'll play that, and then we'll go over to the pup distress. Pup distress is vital this time of year. You can kill coyotes year round just off pup distress. You might have a coyote that hasn't been enticed by the rabbit, or might be hung up and you can't see him. When you switch to that pup distress, that could be what it takes to make that coyote commit and come in so that you can get a shot. Decoys. We've ran decoys a lot. We've gotten away from it. When we have a coyote coming in, when they get about 100 yards away, we'll mute the call. They'll either stop or they'll slowly start to hop as they come to a stop. We don't like to bark at coyotes. There's a chance they'll look when you bark and they'll see you, and then they just veer off. So when you run a decoy, they associate that sound with the decoy. It makes it almost impossible to stop a coyote. So what we do is, if we're running a call that has a decoy option, we'll hook it up, but we won't turn it on. If we have a coyote that hangs up at 300-400 yards looking for something to associate that sound with, we'll flip the decoy on. As soon as he sees it, we'll turn it off. A lot of times that'll be enough to get him to commit to the call and start to come in. But for running decoys non-stop, we're definitely against that, just because of issues you have on stopping coyotes since they've already associated the sound with the decoy. These are some of the basic tactics that we use for fall calling. You could be brand new in the coyote hunting, or you could have been doing it for 30 years. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of something new to look at, some new perspective. Maybe it'll make you a little more effective.